Hello, everyone, and welcome to our very first of our webinar series, Hello Ortto. My name is Yolande. I will be your host today. So today's topic is we're going to be going through and showing you some of the powerful features that Ortto offers in building a welcome journey. So I can see lots of new faces and names, on the call, and I can also see lots of existing customers. So welcome, everybody. For the sake of all of our new names that have popped in today, what we will do is go through a very high level of Ortto as a company before we get stuck into showing you how we can go about building our welcome journey and how simple it is. So let's get started. So firstly, a quick intro to Ortto. So for all of the newbies on the call who haven't heard of us before, Ortto is a marketing automation platform. Our marketing automation platform is underpinned by our customer data platform, which houses all of our customer data and allows you to create really powerful omni-channel campaigns with some really personalized content using all of the data and information available within the customer data platform. We do have some AI capability within the platform as well that you can make use of to help you with some of your content building as well. So we have been around for a little while, since 2015. We are headquartered in Sydney, but we are a global business. So we do have customers all over the world in the EU and the US as well. Our customer base is about 3,500 across the globe, and they are made up of a number of different industries. So we're really strong in the not-for-profit area here in APAC. We've also got a lot of B2B and B2C companies globally. And today we'll be showing you through an example for a SaaS company, which is another one of our core industries that we work with. So without further ado, we're going to jump straight into Ortto and show you how it all works. We've got about half an hour set for today's call. So I'll try to stick to that half an hour as best as I can, but I am known to ramble a little bit. So if we go over time, I'll apologize in advance. And for any questions that we don't get to, we will get back to you via email with the right answers to the questions that you may have. So feel free to pop those in as we're going. So we're going to build a journey in Ortto. It's called a welcome journey. So the use case here is for a fictional business that we've created called Pitcher. So Pitcher is a SaaS company. And Pitcher is a SaaS company that allows you to be able to produce sales collateral really easily. So what we're doing here is building a welcome journey for people who have signed up to Pitcher on a trial. And we're taking you through the steps of how we can very quickly build a customer journey for that group of customers. So let me jump straight into the platform. Great. So we've landed in Ortto here. There's a lot in here and we won't go through all of it today. But for those who want a more comprehensive demo, definitely reach out to us. We're more than happy to kind of take you through a little bit more detail. But for the sake of today, we're going to stick to the campaign part of Ortto. So there are 5 different types of campaigns you can create within the platform. So we've got an email campaign, which is your standard once-off send. So for things like newsletters or announcements or that kind of thing. We've also got SMS. So SMS, again, in a once-off blast fashion that can be used for things like notifications, coupons, offers, etc. We've also got push notifications that we offer as a feature as well. So again, you can use that to do alerts and notifications. We've got our journey, which is our most common part of our campaign part of the platform that people generally tend to use because it's omni-channel. So it allows you to communicate across multiple channels. And you've also got the ability to build in some operational steps in there as well. So we'll be using a journey today to run you through the demo for this specific use case. But lastly, on the bottom there, we've got our playbook. So our playbook essentially is a email-based marketing campaign that you can set off that is triggered based on specific actions over a period of time, but is specifically email communication. So we'll jump into our journeys today and I'll build one with you so we can kind of walk through how quick and easy it is to get one set up. So just clicking on our journey builder here, we'll be redirected to a page. So you'll see within the platform that we always have plenty of templates available. So you can make use of those templates if you're just getting started. But for the sake of today, we're actually going to go ahead and build a journey from scratch. So we're going to give our journey a name. So we said that this was going to be a welcome journey for our customers. So I'll just call this one welcome journey. Maybe to capitalize it to make it a little bit neater. Perfect. So we're going to create the name, and as we come into the journey builder, you'll find that it's going to start asking us to build in some criteria of what we want in our journey here. So we've got the ability here to create entry and exit criteria into our journey. So what that basically means is we can set a criteria for when a contact can enter a journey and when they can essentially exit that journey. So the idea really is you want to be able to set and forget some of these campaigns. So once somebody matches the entry criteria, they'll basically enter the journey immediately and automatically. And then when they no longer match that criteria, then they'll automatically be taken out of that journey or leave that journey. So our entry criteria for this specific journey, we've got for our business picture, basically a place where they can sign up to the product, and we've created an activity based on that. So within the Ortto platform, you've got the ability to track all events-based activities that happen, and then we can use those activities and bring those in even from other systems to be able to create some bespoke automated communication off the back of those activities. So I'm going to add in here as my filter, it's going to be the sign up form. So you'll find that is the activity that we've created. And we're going to say the sign up form has occurred, but you'll see you've got some options here. So if you're looking at filtering down and being a little bit more specific, you can. But for here, we want anyone who's completed the sign up to enter this journey. So we're just going to say sign up has occurred as our entry criteria. We're going to leave our exit criteria as it is, but you've got the ability to set your exit criteria there to show when you want somebody to exit. So they can exit when they reach the end of the path, or if they don't move for 30 days, and we're going to leave that as it is. We do have some other settings that you can set up on your journey here as well, which I'll quickly walk through with you. So we have the ability to show widgets within a journey. So you've got some settings here around how you want that widget to actually display. So you can set that up there. You've also got the ability to say how often you want somebody to be in the journey. So for this one, we've said we only want people to be in there once and they can enter one time only, but you do have some other options that you can make use of there as well. We also want to define unsubscribe rules. So when somebody unsubscribes from any communication within this journey, do we want to unsubscribe them from all emails or just from a specific audience? You've got the ability to change that there. And then we've got our attribution here. So with this particular welcome journey, it is a trial that they're setting up. So by default, the attribution is set as a sign up. But for this specific use case, it probably won't make sense to have that there as the attribution. We'd actually want to know from this particular attribution when they've actually completed a sign up for a plan. So we're going to say when the plan name is premium plan. Great. So when it matches a premium plan, that's what we're going to use for our attribution. And then we're going to save those settings. So that's the beginning of getting our journey set up nice and easy. We know when people are entering and exiting and what we want to capture there. So we're going to jump over and start actually building our journey. So I'm going to click on the edit function here, and this will drop me into the canvas. So the canvas is really simple to use. You can just drag yourself around there as and when you need. But the getting started with building an actual journey, we use what we call shapes. So our shapes basically allow you to be able to create actions within a journey. So we've got a number of different shapes that we can use. But to get started here, and I'll sort of walk through all of these shapes as we're going through the building of this journey. But there's a number of different ones that you can basically use here. We're going to start at the very beginning here using a action shape. So our action shape will basically allow us to create an action in our connected systems here. So you can see all my systems that I've got connected into this picture account. And I'm going to use this particular Salesforce date here. And that's going to allow me to be able to go ahead and actually create a record in Salesforce. So that's going to allow me to be able to create a lead. So once I've clicked on create my lead, I've got the ability here to also go in and look at syncing field data, so back and forth, and how I want to set that up. And then I'm going to set this lead creation up on a round robin. So once it lands in Salesforce, I want it to go on a round robin to my team so that they can go ahead and follow up this sign up and contact that customer. So I'm just going to select anybody here for the round robin and just pop a number of different people here as my selection. And then I've got the ability to decide how often I want this action to occur. And if this action fails, what basically I want to happen. So you can set your parameters there. And then you can go ahead and create. So I'm going to go ahead and create that first action. So just to cover off, somebody's come into and enter the journey based on the fact that they've completed the sign up with Picture. We've then taken our very first action, which is an internal operational action, which is we want to create a lead in our backend system, which in this case is Salesforce. We also use Slack internally at our company, and we also use that to be able to communicate to all of the sales staff for Picture to let them know that, hey, somebody has just signed up. So we're going to use the action shape again, and using that action shape, we're going to now use our Slack as an option. So Slack is an internal communication tool for those of you who don't use Slack and don't know what it is. It's essentially an internal chat tool that we use to communicate within our business. So we're going to decide which channel in Slack we want that to post on. So for the purposes of this, it's definitely going to be in the sales channel. And then we can type a message. So we can say, we can use our tags here as well. So we can say first name of the contact has now, if I can type now, signed up to Picture. All right, fantastic. And then we can add a little emoji if we want to here. Make a really happy one. Awesome. All right, so we've got our message. That's going to go through to our end system, which is Slack. And again, we're going to say how often we want this action to occur, and if the action fails, what do we want to happen? So we're going to go ahead and just create that as the next step, and we're going to keep that title as first name is now signed up to Picture as the title of that action. So you can see that we've created our first two steps, which are purely operational at this point. Now we're going to get down into the part of the journey where we start looking at creating a bit more in terms of actual communication with the customer. So before we get into communicating with the customer, we're going to put a little delay in here. So we do have the option to set a delay shape in the journey, and this just allows you to be able to pause the customer where they're at for a particular reason. So in this particular case, I'm just going to say, hey, I just want to wait 5 minutes and allow everything to work in the back end before I'm going to go ahead and send out my first bit of communication. So I've put in a wait shape there for 5 minutes. You do have the option with the wait shape to look at a precise time or wait until an activity has occurred, and also wait for a field to be populated as well. So we can go ahead and look at that in finer detail in another time. But for the sake of today, we're just going to put a 5 minute wait shape in there. Now, the next step we're going to take is we've waited. We definitely want to now contact our customer. So we've got the ability to use a number of different shapes here to contact our customer. So in this particular first instance, we're going to go with the email. Now, I've got a pre-populated email here. I'm not going to create one with you on the call just for the sake of time. So I'm just going to select an existing template that I've got here. And the one I'm going to select here is from my template library, and it's called Welcome to Picture. So I've added that in as my very next step. Now, I'll just quickly walk you through the email functionality just to show you how much you can customize here. So we've got the actual email title here, and this is pulled in from my template library. I've also got the ability to use our AI here in the subject line. So as I go in and start typing my subject line, you'll see that AI will start to populate some examples for me of different subject lines I could use and ones that will get and what their predicted open rate will be. So I'm just going to select here this one with a predicted open rate of 78%. But you can keep going here and sort of setting up the basics for your email. So we've got the ability to A/B test. You can also decide, what name you want the email to come from and what domain. You've also got the ability to set this up as a transactional email. So transactional emails are typically anything that you'd be happy to send to your customer sort of more than once. So typically things like, invoice payment notices, system notifications, that type of thing. So more operational type emails. So you can basically select transactional email if it's going to be transactional. You've got the ability to decide how often people can receive this message, whether or not you want to BCC or CC in somebody. And then there are some advanced options here around email tracking. You've got the ability to rate limit. So how often do you, or what limit do you want to set of deliveries in a specific sort of time frame? And then you've got the ability to capture interactions, as well as use some dynamic content if you want to get a little bit more technical there. So quite a lot of capability in the email builder. But once we've gone in and set all of our parameters here, we're going to move across into our content builder. I may have missed a step. Oh, there it is. We want to just untick that. Cool. All right, moving on to the content builder. So the content builder is pretty standard. It's all drag and drop functionality, and you can go ahead and basically add in and build your email. Pretty standard for an email builder. There are some really cool features within this email builder, which I won't go through in detail today, but you can use all of your merge tags, so you can really personalize these, bringing in data directly from the CDP into your emails and make them super personalized. So once you've built your email, you've got the ability to go through the review stage, and you can preview it and send yourself a test to make sure you're happy with it before you go ahead and send it out to your customers. So that's your email builder. So I won't save any changes that we've made there. Cool. So we've taken that step. We've decided we want to send out that very first email. And now what we want to do is we want to wait again. So we've sent the customer base a communication. We probably don't want to send them anything else for a few days, just so we're not annoying them. So we'll go ahead and we'll add in another delay here. But this time I'm going to add in the delay for a few days. So I'm going to say I want to actually delay here for 3 days, and I don't want to take any actions here. So everybody is essentially paused here for 3 days. Now I'm going to add my next shape. So the next one I want to add is a condition shape. So the condition shape is really helpful when you want to split your audience based on different conditions. So in this particular instance, I'm going to use the condition shape to split via a true or false. So you can see, as I say, I want to add a condition here. I get to use the true or false condition that I've got available here. And I can go ahead now and basically create a filter. So the true or false condition we're looking to create in this specific example is our welcome email actually included a call to action. And essentially it was a call to action for them to go ahead and update what we call the brand book. So we've put that into our CDP as an activity. When they perform that action, we'll be able to see they've performed that activity. So what we want to do here is we actually want to split this out by people who have updated their brand book and people who haven't. So I'm just going to look for my activity here, and we've got brand book updated as an activity, and we want to say has occurred, and we want to say since starting the journey. So we'll add that in as our condition. So this is going to be a true or false condition, and it will essentially split the path here into two. So I'll keep the title the same as the actual action here. And you can see now I've got my path split into two. Now, down my yes path, I'll want to take one specific action, and down my no path, I'll want to take another specific action. So down my no path, what I want to do is I want to be able to add in a widget. So this is going to be a pop-up widget, which populates for them when they're in the application. So since they haven't responded to my CTA in my email to go ahead and update their brand book, we actually want to pop this brand book notification up next time they log into the actual platform. So what I'm going to do here is create my next shape, which is going to be a display widget. So a display widget can essentially be used to target your audience using some very specific criteria within the actual application. So I'm going to select an existing one I've already created here to save us time of actually building it. So you can see here I've got my brand book nudge. So I'll use that there as my template. Yeah, so we'll add that here. And essentially what I'm going to do here is I'll just walk through and kind of show you the features here, because this is really quite powerful, particularly for retargeting. So you've got the ability to, in terms of the actual building of this widget, really simple. You've got a content builder here. You can see that there are different content blocks. So you can see I've got my image content, I've got my text content block, which I can populate easily. I can add in a button as well. And this is all very simply added just by hitting the add content button, and you can start to build out your widget. So you can see our little widget design over here. You've also got your style in there, so it'll bring in your colors and everything from your brand book that you've set up within the Ortto platform. But if you wanted to alter that in any way, you've got the ability to do that there. Then you've got your settings. So your settings allow you to be able to decide when you want this to show and how. So essentially, we want to show this only once. It's asking you how often can people receive that message, and we're saying once. It's also asking what type of priority you want to set, and do you want to queue this pop-up? So if you've got multiple pop-ups or widgets coming up in your platform, you obviously don't want them all coming up at the same time. So you can create a priority or a queue. You can actually set up where exactly you want it to populate. So for us, our picture application is a web-based application. So you can see we've copied and pasted the specific URL where we want this to appear, but you've got the ability to do that in Android and iOS setup as well. And then you've got your trigger actions. So when do you want the pop-up to show? When do you want it to go away? And how often do you want it to attempt before it expires? So pretty cool, easy way to set up an in-app sort of widget notification. But this is essentially retargeting that same group of people if they haven't responded to the CTA in my previous email. So we're going to save and publish that. So let's pop that into our journey. Perfect. Now we're going to move on to our yes part. So for people who have updated their brand book, that's fantastic. What we then want to do is be able to go on and sort of take a next step with them. Now, what you want to do here is we want to be able to go ahead and once they've completed their brand book, give them another nudge to do kind of the next step in terms of getting engaged with the platform. And so what we want to do is basically encourage them to be able to start setting up their project. So we're going to go ahead here and we're going to filter. So with our filter shape, what we essentially want to be able to do with that shape is we want to then take the yes path and decide what the next step is. So with this particular fictional business picture, what we want to be able to do is say, if somebody has gone ahead and they've updated their brand book, we want to push them to the next action, which is going ahead and making use or creating some of the templates that are available. So we want to create our next shape and we want to decide how we want to talk to the people who have done that step versus not. So I'm going to set a condition here and I'm going to set a true or false condition here again. And what I'm going to do here is I'm going to filter down and I want to look at everybody that has generated templates. So we're going to say templates generated has occurred since starting the journey. So we're going to add that in here as a condition for people to move to the next stage of the journey. So we'll save that condition title as exactly what it is. So we'll move on and create that there. So now that we've got that condition, we've got people who have gone ahead and created their brand book. Then we've said, yes, they have. We want to know out of those people who has actually generated a template. For the people who have generated a template, we want one set of communications. And for the people who haven't generated a template, we want another step essentially in there. So what we want to do here is for the people who have completed a template, we want to push them to go ahead and try to create a project. So we're going to send them an email. So I'm going to use an email template that I've already got here. So let me jump in and add my template. So my template I've got here is complete your first project. So we're going to try to get them to complete their very first project. So let's use that template email there. And so that email will go out for all of the people that have gone ahead and created their brand book. They've gone ahead and used their templates or generated some templates, and now we want them to go ahead and complete their first project. Now, looking at our no path, what we then want to do is be able to decide how do we want to handle people who haven't done that next step. So we've got the ability within the journey builder here to actually be able to connect different parts of the journey. So we can use connecting parts or jumping shapes. So if I just click on my little chain link here, you'll be able to see that I've got two options here. I can jump to a shape or I can connect to another path. So in the instances of this particular example, I'm going to want to actually jump to another shape. So if somebody hasn't gone ahead and created their templates, what do I want to do? What's the next step that I want to take? I probably want to push them back to the top so that they keep going through that journey, so that when they do use that template or they've started generating their templates, they'll get the email to complete their first project. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to do a jump to shape. So I'm going to jump from this area straight back up to the top shape here. So that will mean that if somebody hasn't completed their templates, we're going to pop them back up here into the brand book bucket, and they're just going to keep going through that cycle until they basically receive their first project email. So you can very quickly see here how easy it is for you to be able to create a very powerful journey within the journey builder, really in a matter of minutes. And you can see we've got a number of different stages within the platform to be able to communicate, but also run some operational steps as well. So it very quickly doesn't become just a marketing campaign, but also a customer communication and operational journey for the business. So we've got that kind of set up. There are a few shapes we didn't get to cover, so I just wanted to quickly make mention of those. So we did have our SMS shape. So very similarly to the email, you can add this in as a step. Based on a specific type of communication that you want to have. You've also got the ability to do push notifications as well. So push notifications are really simple to set up, very similar setup to how we set up our widget. You've got the ability, you saw a display widget within the platform, which is really cool to use in app. Our action shapes has a lot of power in it. So we really only showed a really high level of that, but there's quite a lot you can do with your action shapes. Your delay, we kind of went through the delay shape with you. Conditions, we definitely went through. We didn't get the ability to look at a filter. So you do have the ability to create a filter that allows somebody to pause in the journey, and they won't keep moving until they match a specific filter. So it might be until they've performed a specific action, or it might be, until they've, until something is updated or a specific field is updated. So you've got quite a lot of capability there. And then we didn't look at the split. So your split will allow you to do A/B testing within the platform. So you can basically split the customers out using a percentage there as well. So we are at 27 minutes. So we're right at the end. I do have time for a couple of quick questions, which I can see, which are really quick, easy ones to answer. So I'll run through those now. So there was a question in there asking about SMS. So yes, definitely we do have an SMS function. I think the question there was asking, is SMS built into your platform, or do you have some partners that you use for SMS? So yes, the SMS building is built into our platform, but we do have partners that we work with, such as Twilio and Tallbob, which we can, connect you with if you need that SMS capability within the platform. I did see a question there asking about WhatsApp. So WhatsApp integration is something on our roadmap. It is coming down the line. It's not quite ready yet, but it is something that we know is important, and we are considering, from a business perspective, especially in a lot of regions around the world. And then there was another question in there asking about data security. Okay, so our data security, we are fully compliant with data security across the globe. So that's GDPR, ISO 27001, HIPAA, SOC 2, and the US Privacy Shield. So fully compliant across the globe from a data security perspective. And we've got a little bit more information about that on our website, so I can follow up with you directly, so you can, have a read of our documentation there as well. There was another question asking about you're headquartered in Australia. What is your support like for the rest of the world? Good question. So we have 24/6 support available. So that is via email or live chat directly through our website. Our support team are amazing. They're really, really helpful and able to sort of guide you through anything you need. And then also, depending on the different plans that are available, we may have some additional support sort of baked in there for you as well. Cool. All right. I think that gives us just on time here. So I wanted to wrap up here and say thank you so much for joining today. It's been a real pleasure getting to show you through Ortto. I look forward to doing more of these. This is a series we're going to be running sort of more often to give you guys a look inside the platform in this a little bit more of an indirect way, so you've got access to have a look. So if anyone's got any ideas of things that they would like to see us demonstrate as part of this webinar series, definitely reach out. We're really open to ideas. But we will send you all a copy of this webinar and the recording, so you'll have that on hand. If there are any questions, please don't hesitate to reach out. We'll be more than happy to take you through a more bespoke one-to-one demo. Thanks for your time.